All right, you guys, back at you with another one on today. This is Raw Detroit. Make sure you guys subscribe. We're going to continue to hit you with some of the hottest prospects that will be coming in the 2022 NFL draft class. And we're going to talk about it because the Detroit Lions definitely need to get the talent. And definitely this guy right here that I'm about to talk about, Mr. Olave, definitely doesn't lack talent. Now, when you look at the Detroit Lions receiving core, you see that there's lack and lack thereof. And what I mean by that is that they don't have the talent that you would like to see at the wide receiver position. We know that back in the days, they had Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, and also Kenny Golladay. But now it's a new day in Detroit, and Detroit needs to be able to find weapons. Yeah, so far, Cephas is one of those guys that's making a step to get better. And St. Brown, still the jury's out on what type of receiver he's going to be. And Khalif Raymond has been a surprise. Normally, a guy like Khalif Raymond would be like a journeyman and going from team to team. But definitely, he has had a phenomenal season with the Detroit Lions. And I want to shout out to Khalif Raymond, especially because he's one of the smaller receivers on the team. But Chris Olave, man, standing at about 6'1", a guy is a smooth technician on the field, a great route runner, and more impressive than his overall speed is his burst. Olave demonstrates a stellar ability to be able to blow past defensive backs at the line of scrimmage, and that's something that the Detroit Lions desperately need. You know, when I look at a wide receiver and I look at the talent and I look at what the Detroit Lions need, they need guys that can get separation. You know, you don't have too many guys on the Detroit Lions that can get separation and blow past guys and get open in tight windows. And I definitely think that Chris Olave is one of those guys that utilizes his body really well. The fluidity of his hips, the way he moves out on the field. The dude is definitely one of the top wide receivers in this draft class, using a combination of explosion, his play speed, and just the incredible route running that Chris Olave displays week in and week out. Definitely has to put him on the big board and in the conversation for the Detroit Lions, especially when it comes to looking for a receiver. Now, Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson are two of the top receivers that'll be coming into this draft. And I also will be talking about Garrett Wilson as well, because both of these guys are a nightmare on the field. Both of these guys can go deep. They can go with the intermediate routes, and they can also do jet sweeps and everything. These guys can do it all. And right now, Chris Olave is having a great season, man. 65 receptions for 935 yards and 13 touchdowns, averaging about 14.4 a catch. So the dude has been box office all season long for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And it's a great thing that Olave declared to come back instead of going into the NFL, because he wanted to prove that he was one of the top receivers in the nation. And definitely this season, he has proved that he belongs with some of the top names that'll be called in the draft in April. So definitely, man, I love this kid. I love everything that he does. Olave is one of the best receivers when it comes to creating space and separation. And that's one thing that I want to talk about, because when I watch the Detroit Lions, I don't see a lot of guys getting separation. I don't see a lot of guys creating space for themselves and being able to catch the ball in tight windows and tight situations. And he is one of those guys that is great at catching a 50-50 ball as well as contested balls. He will go and snatch that thing at the catch point. And that's something that the Lions need. You need talent at the wide receiver position. The only way the Detroit Lions are going to get better as a football team is that they go out and get premium talent on the roster. And I definitely think that Olave is one of those guys that Detroit has to put down on the big board and say, look, you know, we like all these receivers. Olave happens to be one of the guys that we like. What do you think about considering drafting such a talent such as he has, and what would he mean to our roster? Because I think that what the Detroit Lions need, ultimately, they need a guy that can take the top off of defense, and he definitely can do that. He is very good when it comes to being able to run the route tree. Great route runner, very smooth, gets in and out of his cuts, and the guy is a phenomenal. And one thing that I noticed about Chris Olave, too, is he's great with being able to track the football down. He has great awareness. I think he has probably the best awareness out of all of these receivers that are coming into the draft. The dude is able to locate the football and at the catch point be able to bring it down and do some things with it. Now, he's one of those yak guys, too, that is dangerous after the catch as well. A lot of his touchdowns come like after the catch. So definitely, Ohio State likes to run a lot of crossing routes, and he was definitely one of those guys that benefited off being able to catch a lot of those crossing routes. Whether it was a deep crossing route, whether it was a short crossing route, Olave was always catching the ball. And that's one thing that I noticed about him, whether vertical or catching a hitch or catching something to the out, Chris Olave definitely makes himself available to be able to catch that football. And that's what you want, man. A receiver that's very versatile, a receiver that can run jet sweeps, a receiver that can get bubble screens, whatever type of play that you want to run with this guy, you can do it with Chris Olave. And I definitely think that the Detroit Lions need to consider such a talent as Olave. I definitely think that he would give them something that they don't have, and that's a guy that's able to take the top off of defenses and a receiver that you can count on week in and week out. To me, when I look at Olave and how Wilson play on the team, I look at Olave as like a security blanket, like how what Golden Tate was to Detroit. He was that security blanket. When Matthew Stafford was on the team and he was throwing the ball all the time, he definitely can always count on a guy like Golden Tate to get open and be able to get produce those yards after the catch. And that's what I think about Chris Olave, a guy that can do it all, a guy that is a phenomenal route runner, and a guy that will ultimately give the Detroit Lions an added weapon and the punch that they need to be able to do something in 2022. So, all right, guys, this is Raw Detroit. I'll be back to you with more prospects. And next time, make sure you guys hit that subscription button. No, I'm just kidding. All right, you guys, I'm out of here. Peace.